Great job mentoring. Next up, keep the applause going for Bloop News.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm going to start off by asking a question. Raise your hand if you think that 8 to 12-year-olds read the news every day. Okay? Here's another question. Raise your hand if you think 8 to 12-year-olds play games every day. On their cell phones or computers. All right, great. You guys just validated our problem. We know that kids play games all the time. And we know they don't read a lot of news, even though reading informational texts, reading news, is extremely important, especially in the Common Core age. So, how do you combine those two? And how do you get kids to read more news by turning it into a game-like experience? My name is Kyle, and we spent the last 48 hours creating Bloop News for Kids, the first news app that is designed for kids. So, you guys may ask, why do we even need a news app for kids? What you see out there is Pulse. It's the most popular news aggregator out there on the market right now. And it's a great piece of technology. I use it to read all my news. It aggregates content from across the web. But any English teacher is going to tell you that when they give that to a child, it's overwhelming for them. It's information overload. They don't want to see 15 to 20 articles at a time. It's not fun for them. It's not engaging. It's not something they're going to use independently. So we decided to redesign the interface, redesign the user experience to make it fun. Teachers and students agreed. We sent a survey out, and 84% of teachers and students said, if reading the news was more important, they would read more news. So we created a working prototype, and let's take a look at what it looks like. So when the user first comes to our website, they'll come to a quick splash screen. They'll click on some of their favorite topics they want to read about. That alone is enough to give our app enough data to customize what articles are going to be delivered to them. As you can see, the user interface has been radically simplified from your normal aggregator. It presents one article at a time. If they want to read an article, it shows up right there inside the window. They're not being linked anywhere else. And if the student wants to skip the article, they can very easily do so. They have a lot of control over it. It's very streamlined to be developmentally appropriate. And over time, the app learns from the user's reading and skipping and provides better and smarter recommendations for them. There are also game-like elements where users can earn points towards leveling up their avatars, rewards and incentives, things that we know engage kids and makes them want to continue to do. So Kelly's going to tell you more about our marketing strategy.
Hi, so I'm a former math teacher and school administrator, and I have a huge network of students that I have access to. Kyle has a huge network as a technology consultant So we're going to leverage our network and use that to validate our product. Then we're going to go to iZone. These schools have identified themselves as committed to bringing education into the classroom. They've dedicated time, money, and energy to bringing education into the classroom, so that's where we're going to go. After that, we've identified 26 education technology conferences with over 10,000 attendees that we're going to target to expand our product. As an instructional leader, the conversation that I had all the time circled around informational text. How can we bring informational text into the classroom, because that's what the Common Core is asking us to do. Kids didn't want to read it, though. Bloop answers that question. We're bringing informational text to the classroom in ways that kids are interested in. Like music, here's a music article that is from Time Out for Kids. For teachers, this is important because it also connects to the Common Core learning standards. It'll be a free app for kids. The teacher will pay for the premium version because they will be able to identify specific standards that the kids are mastering or struggling with. They'd be able to use the data analytics to help them in the classroom.
In order for teachers to be able to use it in the classroom, do teachers and kids in the classroom also have to be using it?
They would use it, and they'd have like a profile. They'd have a profile, and they'll connect to the teacher kind of that content.
The notion of what you would charge for a class.
We haven't tested the different scaling options for that yet, but since it is an aggregation service and we're pulling content from sources that are already out there, we're hoping to keep it low cost. I offer, as a technology coach, I'm bringing software to schools all the time, and they're costing thousands of dollars, and schools don't need to spend that much money on a quality news app for kids.
How are you going to make sure the content is appropriate?
So our Genius web developers have created RSS feeds that link only from kid-appropriate websites, and we're going to continue to work with publishers and newspapers to identify the best sources of journalistic content developed in book appropriate for kids.
How are you going to connect the content to the students who are reading them?
So as we said before, the app learns from the students' preferences. Another thing we didn't mention from the splash screen is that it also enters in the student's age. So whether the student is 8 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, that data is going to be used in the algorithm to give them an appropriate article. However, I taught 8th graders that read at a 2nd grade level. So how does it learn from that? Well, depending on whether if the student skips an article or if the student doesn't like an article, they can rate it, and when they rate it, they can say, oh, it's too long, too difficult, too hard, and by doing so, the app's going to learn from it and give them better choices.
How are you going to reach scale and really scale this business in terms of going after all the teachers, students across the country? Give me a little bit more progress.
Well, as Kelly said, her and I have direct access to over 70 schools. As a technology coach, I serve 5 schools currently. With over 60 teachers that I work with. And my company is well
All right, keep the applause going. One more time for Bloop News. Great job.